Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a Platinum Elise versus a Platinum Jarvan. Normally you would not have two hyper-aggressive, snowbally kind of junglers on the same team in this MMR. You usually have someone farming, someone being supportive, and something like that. No reason to smite that whatsoever. But you know, she does what she wants to do. Jarvan starting on the blue side, Elise starting on the bottom side. Absolutely typical stuff for anything beneath Diamond. You know, you start to see some kind of top side clears going down at that particular stage, but really most people still 99% start on the bottom side without thinking about why and what their game plan is. So let's see what the Elise can do here as she drags her Krog camp out. The Jarvan's on the Wolf camp. Pantheon, this is moving. Made a video a couple years ago when people really started doing this. If you can gain prio as a mid laner, get that ward down on this Raptor camp, it gives you everything you need to know. If it's gone already by 2 minutes, you know, 10, 14, hey, you know that Elise is already gone, or at the very least, you know, gone down here, but we can play that accordingly if our bottom lane is pushed back in. Hook does hit. That was a lucky click, wasn't it? Guy actually goes in. He actually goes in. What? Why would you go in except the L? Anyway, so what Elise does is, oh, this is interesting. You said she would have noticed, okay, the Pantheon warded. And as always, please consider having a look at my jungle courses on my website, as well as joining us in the private jungle Discord to have access not only to the free jungle improvement PDF, but also weekly coaching classes, lectures, Q&As, and so much more, in addition to all of the jungle video courses included with it. The absolute jungle paradise for all junglers is virkayu.gg. But the problem is, with this ward, as you can see, against the wall here, you don't always see the full rotation. But the problem is also Elise is not going to sneak down, which is wonderful, because she probably assumes the Jarvan's going to be doing his blue side camp and going down or whatever, but it's 2 minutes 40. You know, there's a Jarvan, you know, by the time you finish this and cross, it's 2:30-ish, you know, Vieg will be 2:19. Very rarely will they have not shown up at this stage. And now she's going to go to the mid lane instead to loop back, which actually, you know what? This is not, in principle, the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. Because we avoid the vision from the Raptor camp, we go around in a way he isn't expecting, but at the same time the Pantheon is actually, and if you can believe this, hugging the wrong side of the lane. Because if we know that this is warded and we see Elise go up, then you know that if she's gonna gank you, she's gonna come from the top side, so why is he hanging around on the top side? Doesn't really make much sense. But the Elise keeps chasing, the Pantheon very clearly walks into his side of the jungle there, into the river, because we know that the Jarvan's going to be showing up. So let's just, oh, flash clock block, excuse me. The Elise keeps chasing the Pantheon, right? We know Jarvan gets leashed down here. She doesn't really think about the Ziggs and how he just wants to chill and farm. She gets all the way in here. She does a lot of damage to the Pantheon. And now they turn back in. The flash is burned. The Jarvan obviously also now has no flash from that moment there. Pantheon goes back in to kill her with his flash. All in all, I think we can summarize this sequence of events as the most expected, unexpected, good, bad play. Does that make sense? Because, hey, cool, you surprised him, but the guy's hanging around the top side, which, again, he shouldn't be doing because he knows he should be coming around from the top side because he warded it. But the Jarvan's also right here to shadow, and we know that because he got leashed on the bottom side. So Elise here is trying to almost outsmart herself a little bit too much. The Ziggs here has no flash. The guy is out of mana. The Jarvan does have full mana. We'll hit his EQ if he's just patient with it. There we go. Nice kill. You know, do we want to gank a Pantheon against a Ziggs when the Jarvan's there? The 2v2, do we win it? No. You really don't. And now she's like, well, maybe I can go ahead, be a little bit patient here, and get this gank off. Obviously, no flash. We're going to E directly to the target, which is what you want to do, okay? That was nice. Eing directly to the target amplifies your spider passive damage, your spider form passive. This thing right here. Can you see that? Yes, you can. That gets amped up at a base of 40%. That scales up to 100% as you level up the ability. We'll have to become spider form very quickly for us to see that. There you go. You see it on your screen. Should be able to see it. There you go. See that? No, that's not a 4,000% increase. That's 40%. All right? 40%. That would be a lot of increase if it was. So she uses her E to gap close and essentially get to a position where she can actually get that amplification, healing damage onto the Pantheon, which is great, right? So using it there is wonderful. And when I sort of always include this tip in videos specifically, I can never find a situation because you do want to use that repel in other ways, obviously, right? Dodging aggro, gap closing, getting in position for cocoon, and so on. That was actually kind of good. I did like that. We waited for the TP. We punished them for the push and the slow shove. The Jarvan now has not gone back to base. He's gone back to his blue side here for this bottom scuttle. You know, one could question this, especially if he has enough gold for Serrated Dirk, which he should have. Although I know most people like to go the thing that builds into Gold Drinker. That thing, the active thing. Iron Spike, Wisp. Goodness gracious me, I'm having a total brain freeze on its name. I'm sure we'll figure it out in a second. Anyway, Pantheon now does get level 5 early, shoves them down a little bit, but my question for this is, you know, the Elise was seen going topside. You know she had none of those blue side camps taken. You know she's going to fall back to it. At this point, I'd assume she's probably going to go ahead and, you know, either go back to base or carry on sequencing. So this is not a terrible ward, but I wouldn't want to compromise my 6 too heavily. Now, Jarvan, on the other hand, has decided to go down to this side here and loop all the way back up, and his Raptor camp is out of sequence. The Elise is now staying at way too long. So this, in summary, in Platinum, the Goblin mode of hoarding gold loses you all tempo. That's effectively the issue here. Now, your pathing can be good / bad. Your decision making can be bad / good. Like, there's a lot of variables in it, and, you know, again, execution can be the issue. Now, this particular stage, the Elise obviously has already gone back to base by way of death. She has about 800-900 in pocket. The Jarvan, on the other hand, has a substantial amount of gold, and it makes no sense for him to stay out here. The Elise can actually get away with staying out here. You know, it's enough gold to go buy something a bit more valuable. At the same time, do you see a play that you can kind of go for? Bottom lane, do you think you can repeat gank this? Obviously, we've seen the guy go down. So you have to kind of factor in that decision making to whether you stay out or not. But we're worried about this because we saw the Pantheon go down and up against it. Now we're avoiding vision. This is good. Like, these habits from this Elise, they're developing nicely, right? They're not perfect yet, but they're developing nicely. Very strange power thing from the Jarvan in general, and the Elise has now stayed out, skipped to Krugs, and wants to go for this gank at the bottom side here. That hook does hit, should be a cocoon follow, very, very good. Now you save your repel, that's good. This is solid play. This is very solid Elise play for Platinum, you know? The power thing isn't always perfect, but that's not the issue, right? You improve over time with that kind of stuff. Obviously, Pantheon is 6 here. See, now we're greedy. Now, we don't need to be in game or out of game or whatever. We know this is a bad idea. You should know this is a bad idea in game. You can see the Pantheon gets 6. Here we go. Oh, hello, sir. How can I help you? All right, I can't because I have 1,800 gold. So what you should have done is just stayed out here and shoved this for a deny. You know the Pantheon's roaming down. Now, if you really need to finish the Krugs to go back to base, you can go for it. Otherwise, just go back to base because she had enough for Soak Boots, plus Alternator in this particular case, which again, not always what we want to go for, but you know, we kind of deal with these things. The Jarvan has this vision, knows categorically, and he should at this point that the Elise is tracked down. Dies in the river. Why would the Elise go topside? Like, what's the reason? Because she dies before blue. So once she's taken all of that stuff, she's taken all of this now delayed, gone down here, she's not going to have this respawn as you might normally would in this situation. So he's going to go straight up for this red buff invade. The Elise is like, you know what? I would not have seen that coming. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and gank this. Now, for me personally, look at Jarvan. He's very close to 6. She's nowhere near 6. I would be definitely a bit more focused on maybe doing the Krug camp before I go to the bottom side, or doing my red before I go to the bottom side, just to kind of get some experience, get the red buff, and then I'll come for the gank, right? So there's no reason to wait that long for this gank. You can easily do red first and then translate that over, but the ganking idea, perfect, right? The Jarvan actually ends up snacking this away right here, getting this. Now she wants to do the dragon, which is just a bit silly. You're seeing this issue with these junglers at this stage, like, where's the Jarvan? She's not thinking about where the Jarvan is. She's not thinking about what the Jarvan's doing. She's not thinking that he could be stealing her red. The Jarvan gets in and out very, very nicely here. Gold in pocket, he does have the serrated Dirk, thank goodness. Now the satchel just push the Jarvan back into the throes of Spiderland, and now Malphite's roaming with his ult. Everyone's like, run away. Let's see if he actually decides to go for something here. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Yeah. So the Elise twice has moved into river with lack of consideration for enemy jungler location and roam, not paying attention to the minimap, nor thinking about the positioning of where the Jarvan wants to be, like the pathing. Why and where is Jarvan, right? Now, this is cheeky. Should you necessarily go for this? No, because I expect her to come to the red. I expect her to rotate to the red, and I expect Nautilus and Kaiser to be able to rotate before my bottom lane. So it's a cheeky, aggressive move by the Jarvan, right? But sometimes we need to do those things in these games, and he gets away with it. Now, of course, he sees a translation gank here. No ult on the Malphite now, so he's going to do the lockdown himself. The problem with that is Fiora does have the Mega Dash. He's going to chase down here for a Q, not going to get it. She's not the best target to use your ult on. You kind of want to stack your CC. You kind of want to wait for her to do that before you actually lock her down, but at the same time, you know, it's not on a high cooldown, so you either have the damage or you don't in those situations. Let's just call that unlucky. Hey, I'm sure I can lock her down. I'm sure Malphite and I can do this. We didn't have enough damage. She gets out, sucks, but at least I get a Herald. That's the way we look at it. Elise, on the other hand, is just a bit, you know, lost eternally here. We have the Maokai already placing that. We see from the sapling. Run! Oh. And now the bottom lane have moved to the mid lane, and the Pantheons moved to the bottom lane. And we've already got a shift here. Q from the Malphite. Now we're taking free damage. This guy's going to show up with a Herald. No ult. Cocoon does miss, and we know that's down. So what does he do? He goes and tries and takes the blue. Now, can he get the blue and get out? Oh boy. She's basing half HP with 453 gold. So now she's over basing. So you've got the Jarvan under basing, and now you got the Elise over basing. And that's always, he thinks she's on Wolves, because she should be on Wolves, and then moving up to a Grump on Blue, but she isn't, because he took the Herald. She maybe assumed he was going here, which is a possibility, right? Like, she could say, look, if Jarvan took the Herald, he might take my Blue, which is a possibility. And in that case, I'd be impressed that she's thinking about it. Jarvan then says, okay, look, I've already killed the Fiora. He EQ'd a repost as she flashed the ult. Again, these are critical, huge, ginormous spells being absolutely wasted on a Fiora, who's still going to do Fiora things. And I know in the private Discord, one of the mods basically says, I haven't seen Fiora in 4 years, because if I ever do it with someone to play with the top lane, and he just bans it, because no one wants to see or deal with this champion. So I get it. She's evil, you know. But again, like, wasting critical spells on wrong lanes. Like, your bottom lane are behind, your mid lane is ahead, and we're trying to deal with a Fiora here. The Malphite's always gonna be useful, right? As long as the Malphite is keeping the Fiora within touching distance, there's no real reason to try and juice the guy. He's gonna be useful. He just has to press the magic button. So try and get that Ezreal back in the game. Try and snowball the Pantheon even more, right? Try and shut down someone else in the enemy team that's actually easily shut down a bull. And you've done a decent job so far, as we are now doing the Wolves and not looking at this. We're not rotating to this whatsoever. The Ezreal dies. You gotta see these things. You know, if you're the Jarvan here, you gotta see these things. Like, this kind of cut needs to happen, because you know that this dragon gets snacked away. Okay, we know that. So once it's snacked away, we see this, right? The saplings in the bush, we see this here. There's no reason for us to go to the Wolves and AFK ignore the situation, because Elise is nothing, because we see this. So what is she going to do next? If she chooses to do our Grump, cool, but I might as well try and kill the Kaiser, right? And even if you don't decide to do that, once the Arcane shifts in and you see the Nautilus, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, we should be moving. We have ult available. Can we do something here? That Maokai ult's not going to hit anything. Kaiser's going in here. Like, now you would be arriving if you were dragging and seeing this, and maybe we could do something about it, right? At this point, it is too late. I agree with you, but he wasn't paying attention. So you're definitely seeing a good platinum game right now. But yeah, the sneaky counter jungling is pretty good. As I always say, the petty crimes, you know, getting in there and sneaking something. Hey, I can't contest what you're doing bottom lane. You're double killing my bot lane again. I might as well take your red. And then I might as well take your blue while you're going back to base, you know, after I took the Herald. So the Jarvan has the map control down. 3 out of 4 KP. No stress from him. Now the Elise is going to show up to the top side. No ult on the Malphite. Misses the cum shot. And now we'll have to repel to try and get this. There we go. Should always get that kill. So you spent all that time as Jarvan ganking his Malphite, and then in the end, you don't kill Fiora. She gets the kill anyway. Malphite loses a flash, ult, and TP, and then he's dead. Not rock solid, rock soft. Anyway, so the Jarvan now comes out of base with this Herald. He's got Eclipse done and juiced. He knows that the Elise should still be top side based upon her pathing and projections from this ward. Maybe we can do something here, of course. Lazy pathing. We would not have known about this ward here, but lazy pathing in general. He wants to go for the red. But you're seeing and you're dragging your bottom lane with you. Make the play first, then reward yourself with that invade, right? Make the kills first and then reward yourself. Don't blindly run into invades. There we go. Max range EQ. Ult from the Ezreal. Ult from the Ziggs moves in as well. We do have ult available, but we choose not to use it. I mean, at least take someone with ya. But yeah, this is a big problem. This right there is a pretty big problem, right? Because, you know, you got seen here. That's a good ward. You don't expect it, but look for the play first, then activate the Herald, get your shove going. Hey, support, can we go take this quickly? Push her off, cool. I know Ziggs will rotate, but Pantheon has, you know, maybe he has the big ball drop. In this case, he doesn't, but maybe he does. Ping it, look at it. That's the kind of order of events you want to think about. But the problem is, they just don't. They just don't, my friends. You just don't. That's right, you just don't. So make sure you do. And you'll have a better time. So now that Herald is wasted, no plates are gotten, we're activating a top lane anyway for some particular reason. You know, we're not snowballing the Pantheon, who's... I don't know why this happened. Don't ask me. This, I don't know why it happened. Yeah, no turrets are dead. There's no real reason for this to be going on, but it is. It is. So as Jarvan, hey, just go kill the rat. Go kill the rat bottom side, activate the Herald with the Pantheon, shove it. You got 2v2 here, who cares really? You shove this really, really hard with Herald because it's a 2v1, so it's an edge dive, basically a top lane dive. Now this turret's taken by the Fiora obviously already, so you'd be in a great position. The Elise, and the reason why I'm not speaking about her is because, yeah, she's 2, 3, and 7, but what has been the impact, right? What has been the true impact of the game? Like, she snowballed bottom lane, great, cool. She got some stuff top lane, great, cool. She got a dragon, great, cool. But why does it feel like she's still lacking some sense of control? Because while her positioning is based upon her team very, very well, you know, and the pathing has been solid, you know, it's serviceable, but it lacks panache, I think is the only way we could kind of put that there. Rotates over here, a little late, 4v3, 5v3, 5v2, Fiora's not even in the picture. It's because when you're looking at it from the Elise's perspective, and we just described the great power thing, she did the avoidance, she did underbase a little bit, she kind of assumed that Jarvan was taking a blue set to go to the bottom side, like all of this was good. All of this was good. But she's lacked the sequencing, camp control, counter jungling, she's lost some camps for free, and the lack of awareness and respect to the river, and where the enemy jungler and mid laner are, that's what's cost her, right? The unnecessary deaths have cost her a couple camps of econ. But also, if I was to describe this verbally, hey, Elise ganked bottom lane multiple times, Elise ganked mid lane, Elise ganked top lane, and got kills in every situation, you'd be thinking, oh, game's over. Got Herald, right? No. Got a dragon? Yeah, kinda. Did she blow open any turrets? No. So then what was the point of it, right? Because if you don't have kill conversion ratio, it's very, very useless to have that stat. Now we're going repel backline here. See, there's the problem with a lot of releases. Hey, I can assassinate someone. Hey, you're 247. You cannot assassinate someone, especially not a Jarvan. You know, no one on this team is dying other than the Ezreal, maybe. And even then, he has Arcane Shift plus Flash Up, so... Split push from the Fiora. We did enable this as the Elise, which is nice, you know, but... Where's the push and shit? Like here, where's the push for plates? Yeah, where's the idea of resetting here, maybe getting some control here and giving up this and taking a dive here early so we can get the Herald? Like, she wasn't doing the things in the order that allowed her to get the dives, to get the plates, to get the Heralds necessary to snowball the lead that she gave lanes. And also, she didn't get all the kills, which sucks, but overall, it was pretty good. And the Jarvan just kept sequencing a little bit too much, underbasing a little bit too much, not reacting a little bit too much. And while he's 2-1-4 and has 6 out of 7 KP, that's a testament to him actually trying to be active around his farming. Could he have done more? I agree he probably could have, but hey, you know, good stuff overall from the Jarvan. Like, solid. Not amazing, but solid. And while the Elise had better awareness of her pathing, she didn't have the awareness of her surroundings, nor the ability to think about the enemy jungle. Now we're doing our Krugs, right? We're going out and then back. Just do the Krugs on your way. Get the pick, get the scan. Now we're detached from our team. The red team are going to start to goon squad up 100% because that's what they want to do here. And the Ezreal is so far behind he can do nothing else but follow the goon squad. Jarvan's now shadowing the situation, has the all-in. Fiora's just split pushing and no one's holding any other waves. The Elise is kind of just loitering, waffling, and wandering around, not doing camps, not pushing totes, not taking objectives, looking too much to be an assassin, which she isn't. She's not Evelyn, okay? Cool. Fiora just goes to the top wave. We'll start to push that. So the Elise did enable the They at least did enable the Fiora, which again is the big thing. And this is making my point about the Jarvan. You spent all that time against her, using all of these things. Just realized her name. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. He could have offset the Ezreal a bit more, really snowballed the Pantheon a bit more, and really punished the Elise's ganks, because she was not taking anything from them. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, because obviously this game is, you know, what you're saying, she's doing a decent job and he's doing a decent job, and don't they both deserve to win? No, I think they both deserve to live by the coin flip of whatever happens, you know? But again, the Jarvan has had a more visceral impact. Well, that was a weird EQ flash combo. Not a very good one at all, actually. And now, because no one on Jarvan's team actually decided to contain the Fiora whatsoever or really elevate the game properly, I mean, she's 173 CS still, and she's almost Flame Horizon this guy completely. So, Elise, the great enabler, but then would have had a better, I think she would have been better off just playing like an Ivern or something like this in this particular game, honestly. Honestly. Even a Maokai would be great, and Nunu would be great. There's a lot of cool things she could do, so yeah, it is what it is, but again, the foundation for me was solid, right? There's some good pathing practices. You could see this person was thinking about their own pathing. But what they were thinking about now is the enemy jungle. So that's the next step, right? Where they're going next, what could they possibly be doing? Jesus Christ. We are seeing some things from this Jarvan. But a lot to be said for clearing your camps. Not in the way that I necessarily would, but he cleared his camps, looked for action when there's a high probability of the gank, and because of that he has 80% KP. He was able to get that Herald, not use it properly, but we all agree on how he could have. Cool. Like, honestly, I think both junglers have had what I would call, a decent Platinum level game. Now, for them to get up to the Emerald level, they would have to do a lot of the things we've all suggested here today as fixes, but will they? That's the question. So, now we go all in on the Kai'Sa, are able to burn stuff, which is great. The Elise has followed this up. The Flash is to avoid the Ziggs ultimate. The Jarvan, again, is... Look at the minimap. This is what's going to hold this guy back. This guy will be held back by, he just does not see, this, right, is a play we could make. A situation we could shadow. Now, he's just going to go topside to a Fiora, who's 14, while Pantheon's 11, with no HP. What are you accomplishing here? You should have been in this fight mid lane. Let the 1v1 occur topside. Pantheon could honestly just ditch and ult in, but he doesn't. Jarvan's not going in on the Fiora here. Yeah, again... You gotta learn, man. Learn, live, laugh. Okay. 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 Humpty. Humpty combo. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think an amazing example of solid pathing, which looks good, but has no real substance. And then from Jarvan's case of having high KP and having a lot of impact, but not really having a lot of impact. So I think the thing is, and we can maybe summarize this whole video in this regard, why your jungling why your jungling lacks substance, right? That's effectively it. It can look better than it is. But at the end of the day, it looks like a diamond, but it ain't one. It is a fake one. And the enabling from the Elise was definitely the big difference maker here, and most likely why they should win this game. But we can all agree that if the Jarvan had redirected his resources, his timing, his pathing, and had some better reactive pathing, like moving towards the events of the game, that's when we could have seen a shutdown of the Fiora, just because the rest of the red team would be amazing. Malphite would be roaming with them 4v5, and the Fiora could not 1v5 at that stage. Now, though, she could, because she's just that fed. And that's the problem. You don't want to get to 22 minutes in this situation. Now we're having the weirdest team fight. Everyone's just kind of going in and out a little bit. Now we just decided, hey, let's just stat check it. But again, red team has a numbers advantage because they have the Malphite. And that's the thing. Fiora's just not joining her team. She doesn't have TP. She's not interested in it. So all of that pressure top lane, you see what I'm saying? You want this to happen so cleanly from the red team's perspective that this is a Baron you're taking. You're on this, you're taking it. You're getting Soul, right? You are forcing her to split, yes, but she's getting nothing for it because you're taking everything very, very quickly. But this still stands. This still stands. This still stands. So if you're the red team... If you're the red team and you honestly have a 5v4 fight all the time and you haven't gotten one out of turret by 23 minutes... It shouldn't happen. It literally should be illegal, right? Absolutely illegal. And there you go. So now, because Jarvan goes greedy and roasts himself, and the dragon spawns, Elise's team should be able to collapse and snack this away. Now again, you can say, look, she got carried by a top laner. Agreed. Did she help the top laner despite multiple ganks from the Jarvan? Yes, she did. They're having their own fisty over here. Fiora is such a disgusting champion. Honestly, this champion is so diseased. So absolutely diseased. Now we're chasing down the Maokai. And all we have to do is play around the Fiora, my friends. Get the objectives, push into the map, take all the turrets that aren't taken yet. Hit the hook, that's an inhib. Nicely done. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Take this one. There we go. If you can get a second inhib, do so and bounce. There you go. Good macro. Everybody leave. Leave if possible. Leave if possible. There's no reason to die there. You got 2 inhibs. Run, take all of this, clear all of this, go back to base. Now go here. Fiora can push this one and absorb pressure. You can just burn this quickly. Everyone goes top lane and you end. But as soon as you overstay, you die. Oh no, who could have foreseen this unlikely event? Now, Kai'Sa and Fiora should be doing this. Kai'Sa and Fiora can do this. And they should be doing this. Because no one will ever think that they will. So if you are in this situation as a 2-stack and you're the ADC or the top lane or whatever like this, you should be doing the Baron right now. Like, the Baron should be dead. Should be dead. Like, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. I hate the mic, but you're still doing it, and it dies. Fiora goes top to absorb pressure, and this is when the whole red team should goon squat her and kill her, but they don't. Because they're pushing up the rest of the map that they just gave up. Now she's like, can we do this, please? But they're waiting for the jungler. You don't need the jungler. Ezreal ults this, but again, it should be dead already. So this is the big difference between your diamond, emeralds, and platinums, is the ability to make that Baron play, and now you would end on this fight. This fight that we're having right now, everyone groups, coalesces, we win it, GG. Poke. Lazy base. Flash. But now you have no waves. That's why you don't want to be here pushing down the 2 waves, the 2 inhibs that are already down. We want to be taking this and pushing this. Let Fiora do this. The rest of you can be here. She can do that herself. You're all taking this. You're going top lane now. She shoves in. She joins you. Boom, you end. Do you follow? Mid-game is always linked in the description to these videos. Mid-game a video I've covered on this kind of stuff. Elise has the right idea, though. I mean, she's 479. It's not like she's done really anything, but, see, now you coin flip the potential steal. Yeah, this is it. This should not be a coin flip. This game should be over. Big difference in MMRs right here. You're not diamond, this is why. Make the shuckle. Become the shuck-calling jungler. We'll just cocoon that. But now you have a numbers disadvantage a little bit. But again, you could go do Baron. You can go do Baron. You're Elise. You can outsmite him. You have Q. Game's gone way longer than they should. Hopefully you can see why. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Jarvan has Edge of Night plus Collector. That's not the build I would necessarily go here. I think, you know, the Eclipse is great, but then you're looking for your BC. You're looking for your more of Mortius. You're looking for your GAs and your regular itemization. They do get the kill because she split pushes when everyone's not parallel, so they get the Goon Squad. We'll get the Dragon for it. Yeah, this is the case. You kind of just end and win because of this lead you have from Fiora's perspective and the map that you've unlocked. They have 1 turret, the red team, which is just weird considering. Because the Jarvan honestly looked like the better jungler overall, but he just couldn't pick the right game planning and lanes to win con over. Whereas Elise had better pathing, but, you know, with no real purpose. He was just vibing. Now that we'll go back to base actually properly. Anyone want to do Baron, as we have 3 dragons? Anyone who wants to do a Baron? 2 inhibs are down. Malphite goes in onto the Kai'Sa. She's going to have to be forced to ult there, and then try and E for repositioning. Won't do anything. Now we have the backline ult onto the Pantheon from the Nautilus. The Jarvan's moving in from the side. We're going to hook that and kill that rock. Here comes Maokai ultimate. We're going to dunk. You know, red team should win this. Again, red team should win this, but the Ziggs backline is getting a lot of protection. A lot of protection, and honestly, the Elise there are doing huge things to keep her alive. Pantheon has to ult back in, and she will end the game. That's it. Perfect. From blue team's perspective, well done. At least 2. Just let her split, man. Let her split, let her end. Just absorb and protect Ziggs as much as you can once Kai'Sa dies. There you go. A very platinum game for you, but hopefully you can see a lot of cool stuff. I thought this was a really good one for if you're stuck in Platinum. A lot of things can open your eyes to why you do things. Yeah? Okay, cool. See you in virkayu.gg or in the next video.